What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the suspension that just came down from Myles Garrett. I was on my way to the gym, and I just received word that Garrett will be suspended indefinitely for the remainder of the season, and he may miss even more time after that. And before I give my full opinion on the suspension and what happened last night, I live streamed that game, by the way, and I was going crazy. When I actually saw it took place. One of the most embarrassing moments in NFL history, in my opinion, what happened last night. It's ridiculous. But my first question is, before I get into who did what and who was wrong, why is Mike Tomlin throwing the football? You're down by 14 points with 8 seconds left in a game against a divisional rival, right? Tempers are flaring at the end of a game. Why is Mike Tomlin down 14 points on his own 20-yard line calling a passing play? Why? Either run the ball or kneel it. Get out of there. You lost the football game. Why are you going to put your quarterback under duress? Which is exactly what happened. Now, in terms of the play, Mason Rudolph drops back to pass. When I watched it live, I thought it was a much later hit than it was, if I'm being fair. Myles Garrett pretty much gets to him as he's throwing the football. The ball is released, and maybe Garrett doesn't know it at the time, but regardless, Garrett flips around, throws him to the ground, lands on top of him. This is a game in which Rudolph was intercepted 4 times, had a temper, not defending what Rudolph did. Rudolph's down on the ground. He then tries to take off Garrett's helmet. It's obvious. It's visually obvious, right? There's no defending that. And he's wrong for that, right? But tempers are flaring. He feels like it was a late hit. He feels like he was beat up on. So I get it that people are saying he instigated. Whatever. Okay? Garrett then rips off Rudolph's helmet. And up to this point, after watching the replay, Garrett's kind of wrong, but I'm not going to go crazy about it. Then, Rudolph, obviously upset after he just got his helmet ripped off his head and he got what he thought was thrown to the ground egregiously, gets up and he gets in the face of Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett then takes the helmet as if it was a hammer, and this is the strongest guy in football probably. This guy's an athletic freak. Takes it, swings it as hard as he can at the top of Mason Rudolph's head. Then he's ejected from the game, and Rudolph gets thrown to the ground. It was an embarrassing moment. But what I want to talk about here, I'm watching Max Kellerman. I'm watching Stephen A. Smith this morning. And Max Kellerman comes to the defense of Myles Garrett, in a way. He says that it was started and that in hockey you only get like a 5-game or 10-game suspension if it's high sticking, which is like an eighth of the season. And then what he thought that Garrett did wasn't that bad. No, what he did was bad. If a guy comes up to me on the street and hits me over the head with a helmet, he's going to jail. And I'm not even saying Garrett should go to jail. I get it. It's in the heat of the moment. You're athletes. You're upset. But this guy deserves to be suspended for a long time. And if he's suspended all next year, I would not be upset about it. I wouldn't. He's completely in the wrong. Anybody defending Myles Garrett today is out of their mind. Out of their mind. This guy is getting what he deserves. And I'll tell you this right now. If this was an average football player, I'll talk about my New York Giants. I'm a Giants fan. If this was O'Shane Ximines, if this was, I don't know, name somebody average on the Giants, I don't know, anybody, not a superstar player, a high-level talent, he'd be off the team already. He would have been kicked off the team. Myles Garrett is lucky that he's the player that he is, because if he wasn't, he'd be without a job right now. He'd be off the Cleveland Browns, in my opinion. And I cannot believe that fans and Cleveland Brown fans are coming to the defense of this guy. The Cleveland Browns have become the joke of the league. Even Baker Mayfield didn't stick up for his teammate. Baker Mayfield came to the defense of the opposing quarterback. Odell Beckham came to the defense of the opposing quarterback. And now the news is trying to make this a black-white thing. This is not a black-white thing. This is a human being on human being thing. I don't care what color they were. It's just ridiculous. I just wanted to get my thoughts on it. I'm glad Myles Garrett is getting suspended for at least 6 games. It could be longer. We'll wait and see. But that was one of the worst moments, in my opinion, since I've been watching the NFL. And it's ridiculous. And Garrett got what he deserved. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.